The headlines. Kebbi State Transmission Company of Nigeria Managing Director says $4 million needed to replace 2 transformers destroyed by fire. Kano State Governor sacks Commissioner aid over death threats to tribunal judges. Normalcy returns to Kaduna community after protest over dog meat feast. From the international scene, Burkina Faso expels French defense attaché for subversive activities. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thank you for joining us. And now the details. The Managing Director of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, the TCN, Sule Abdulaziz, said engineers have resumed work at the TCN power station that was gutted by an early morning fire in burning Kebbi, the Kebbi capital, state capital, on Friday. The TCN MD, who was at the power station to assess level of damage to the power station, said 2 states, Kebbi and Sokoto, were affected, and based on the temporary arrangement being made by the company, it may take 2 weeks for its engineers to fix the damaged power station and restore light to the 2 states. He said before then, the company plans to feed Sokoto from the power station at Talata Mafara, while Kebbi is to be fed from Sokoto. He added that in 2 weeks' time, they plan to feed Kebbi from the transformer assigned to Niger Republic to replace 2 major transformers, MVA 90 and MVA 60, that were destroyed by the fire. He said the TCN will need $4 million to procure them. The TCN MD said the company could still not immediately tell what caused the fire incident, but it has engaged experts to investigate and find out what caused it. The governor of Kano State, Abba Kabir Yusuf, has sacked his commissioner for lands, Adamu Aliyu Kibia, and another 8. The commissioner for lands, Adamu Aliyu Kibia, was recorded in a viral video making alleged threatening remarks concerning the final verdict of the Election Petitions Tribunal. He was reported to have said, "We will kill anybody who dares to tamper with our hard-earned victory at the Elections Tribunal." His remarks caused concerns and distress in and around the city, prompting many to call for his immediate prosecution to serve as a deterrent against potential acts of violence. Addressing the media on the meeting's outcome, the State Commissioner for Information, Baba Halilu Lantie, stated that the government completely disassociates itself from the remarks made about the judges of the tribunal. Similarly, the Special Advisor on Youth and Recreational Activities, Yusuf Imam, made disparaging comments attacking Vice President Kashim Shettima. The government clarified that neither of the individuals was authorized to speak on behalf of the government. Normalcy has been restored to Nasra community in Chukun local government area of Kaduna State, where a cleric allegedly slaughtered a dog and shared the meat to his followers, causing an uproar in the Muslim community in the area. Youths in the area in protest reportedly attacked the cleric's residence and school after he insisted that his action was lawful and not contrary to the teachings of Islam. Trust TV's Bello Musa has the latest.
Tension was high in the area after the said cleric slaughtered a dog, which residents said it was against the teaching of Islam. According to some residents, the man fled the community after the incident. The community accused the said cleric of slaughtering the dog for naming ceremony, but a member of the sect, Ismail Abubakar Jana, denied this, saying eating dog meat is not prohibited by the Quran.
Abin da ya faru kwana hudu kenan da ya wuce. Ni na yi tafiya bana wurin.
4 days ago, when I returned from a journey, our student informed me that a dog was slaughtered. I thought it was a joke, But after our lesson session, I entered the house. The meat of the dog was on fire. We are Muslims and we believe in Quran. But our mode of worship differs from other people. We are Nigerians and the constitution gives right and freedom to believe in any religion of their choice.
While confirming the incident, some of the residents said the dog meat was used to prepare soup which was shared among the students of the school.
We were sitting when they came with 2 dogs and we saw when they slaughtered them. But then we didn't know their intentions until later after they have prepared it and called their members to eat the meat with bread. They ate the meat for 2 days. Although I didn't see the thing with my eyes, but was told that they eat the meat and even several social media platforms promoting it.
An Islamic cleric, Sheikh Ahmed Gumi, said eating of dog meat is un-Islamic and provocative.
There are 2 rulings, but the one that is common here, which is in Risala, is that eating dog is haram because of a hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, naha an akli kulli dhinabin min as-siba' or min as-sub'. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has forbidden the eating of all animals, prey animals that hunt, those that have canine teeth, which the dog has. In another madhab of Malik, at the same time, those who are in Iraq, it is makruh. Makruh yani is disliked.
Gumi urged the authorities not to play with such issues, considering the background of the scholar.
And secondly, Nigeria has experienced them when they started being militant and attacking the Ummah. And I think the authorities should not play with this difference. It's a very significant difference that should not be encouraged.
The Supreme Council for Sharia Kaduna chapter in statement said the mass actions were intended to challenge the Muslim Ummah and to go against the teaching of the Quran. The police public relations officer in the state, ASP Mansour Hassan, while confirming the incident, said the command arrested suspect in connection with breakdown of law and order at Nasarawa community after the incident.
We have received that members of Nasarawa community invaded the house of one Malam Abu Bakr Sani, who claimed that he slaughtered a dog during the naming ceremony of his child. And then the people of that community feel that it's a new thing to them, which they started taking action and taking laws into their hands. But we thank God we have arrested one of the suspects, and then we'll charge him to court upon completion of the investigation.
The police warned the residents from taking law into their hands.
Some parents in Gombe are expressing difficulty in meeting financial obligations for the education of their children and wards as school reopened for a new academic session. The difficulty has been linked to the current economic climate in the country as millions of Nigerians struggle with harsh living conditions occasioned by fuel subsidy removal, which has triggered record high inflation. Ibrahim Ismail met with a civil servant who has been forced by the situation to withdraw his children from a private school due to the increase of school fees. Take a look.
Hassan Buba is a civil servant in his 50s and he caters for a family of 10. Like most Nigerians, the Gombe resident is feeling the impact of high cost of living since the removal of fuel subsidy in May this year. He pays school fees for 7 of his children. One of them is in university.
Many children that I'm paying them school fees at the private school before, due to the removal of subsidy, the country enter a critical condition that no way to pay that amount before.
On a quarterly basis, Buba spends at least 70,000 naira to settle school fees of the children in private school, which according to him is not sustainable, forcing him to transfer them to a public school, which he said is cost effective.
Anything had been increased. Most of the commodity had been increased. I returned them to the government school.
The father of 8, who raised concern on the economic consequences posed by high fuel prices, urged government to support parents in sponsoring of children's education. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Gombe.
Ginger farmers in 4 local government areas of Kaduna State are counting losses following the outbreak of strange disease that have ravaged their crops in the areas. The disease broke out in the early July this year in farming communities of Kachia, Jaba, Kagarku and Jama'a local government areas of the state where ginger is cultivated in large quantity. Adu Musa visited some of the affected communities and now reports.
This is Gidamana village under Kachia local government area of Kaduna State, one of the communities that have suffered in ginger farming this year. A lot of farmers in the community and other surrounding communities have lost millions of naira following the outbreak of fungal disease in the area. Let us hear how it happened and how it has affected them.
At the beginning, we began to see the leaf drying and becoming yellowish. We didn't understand the problem. We applied different pesticides to kill the disease, but we couldn't succeed. It was a strange experience because this is the first time we are experiencing the problem in our areas. For decades, no disease has ever destroyed our crops at this magnitude. I lost over 30 million naira to the disease. We can't explain why the disease affected the crop. We have never seen it in our life. The crops just turned yellowish. At some point, we thought the crop was demanding fertilizer, which we applied but didn't succeed. Ginger farming is what we depend on. It is our main source of income. I can't quantify the degree of damage this disease has inflicted on us, but millions of naira were lost. We just woke up and saw the disease destroying our crops. We are really in trouble because we depend on it for years. Now that it has dried, we don't know what to do. The farmers, however, say unless government intervenes, they will be out of the business. We have suffered a lot. Many have lost millions of naira, and some have even died because of frustration. We are calling on state and federal government to assist us because some of us collected loans to invest in the farming. This is our main source of income and has been lost. We want government at all levels to help us with all kinds of assistance to be able to cushion the effect of the disease. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, the Nigerian ginger export has hit 10 billion naira in the second quarter, indicating 17% improvement compared to 4.6 billion naira in same period of 2022. However, the farmers say the country may not be able to achieve its export target in the next quarter because of the outbreak of the fungal disease in some of the ginger producing areas. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
You're watching news updates on Trust TV. Coming up, Maiduguri residents now enjoying subsidized public transport. This and more after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Update on Trust TV. Here is a recap of our top stories. Robochu Kebbi State Transmission Company of Nigeria Managing Director says $4 million needed to replace 2 transformers destroyed by fire. And Kano State Governor sacks Commissioner Aid over death threats to tribunal judges. Now moving on to more stories, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has denied allegations that the headquarters of the company was being moved from Abuja to Lagos. NNPCL Group Chief Executive Officer Mele Kyari said this at an investigative hearing of House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee. The report.
After Monday's non-appearance of the GCEO of NNPCL, the committee set another invitation insisting that the exercise is not a witch hunt but an attempt to establish the true positions of things by ensuring that the right things are done. The issues in focus include alleged illegal acquisition of OVH, its assets before and after acquisition, appointment of an expatriate as managing director, alleged movement of headquarters and staff placement. These are all issues based of alleged corruptions and wrongful acquisition of OVH as a commercial national oil company.
It is in the light of the above that the committee has scheduled today's hearing with the hope that the stakeholders concerned will have the opportunity or benefit of shedding light to the discrepancies in respect of the record of assets and other claims relating to the acquisition of OVH Energy.
The speaker represented here speaks on the need for transparency and accountability in line with the Petroleum Industrial Act.
I want to see how much they paid, whether it is the same force rate or market rate or even less than the force rate. We want to see that.
The GCEO of NNPC Limited responded to the necessity and processes of the accusation. Mele Kyari says, prior to the accusation, the company's highest profit was 6.59 billion naira in 2021, but by the first quarter of 2023, a profit of 18.4 billion naira was declared.
We are in control of this market today, Mr. Chairman. We have bought assets. We know clearly what we bought. There's a listing of this asset. It's not what is read in the media that people have petitioned you. We are ready to give you all the entire information immediately after this meeting or subsequently.
The GCEO also says no plan to relocate the company's headquarters from Abuja. The lawmakers, however, disclosed plans to carry out an oversight of the OVH to see its assets and assess its performance before putting together its report to be submitted to the House for further legislative action. In another development, the House of Representatives began investigation to probe illegal auction of government properties. The agencies involved have been accused of illegal auction of some properties owned by the federal government.
There is a total commitment to ensuring that we all join hands, executive and other branches of government, to reposition, refocus, and rebuild this country.
The agencies involved were all asked to report to the parliamentary next week unfailingly.
30 out of the 70 buses launched by Governor Babagana Zulum to ease the transportation challenges of residents have begun operations in Maiduguri, the state capital. In this report, Adamu Ngulde says a cross-section of commuters have expressed satisfaction with the impact of the government's intervention. The report.
It could be recalled that the federal government under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu implemented the removal of subsidy on petroleum products, thus ruling out palliatives to cushion the effect of citizens. Here in Borno State, Governor Babagana Zulum has introduced various palliative measures to cushion the hardship of people. Among them is the procurement of 70 buses to Borno Express to convey civil servants to their workplaces at a subsidized rate. Speaking to Trust TV, a civil servant, Blessing Jibrin, said since the removal of fuel subsidy, workers have been suffering due to the high cost of transportation But with the Procure bosses, the hardship of the people will surely be reduced. We are really happy with this intervention from the state government. We people from Polo to post office, we are paying only 15 naira. Imagine. Also speaking, Ali Umar, a bus driver, and a passenger, Malam Abubakar, both thanked the governor for providing the buses as a subsidized amount of 15 naira only. I am happy with our state government for this palliative support. We pray Almighty Allah reward our leaders at all levels. This government of Borno State really deserves commendation from us. For now, there is no any challenges, only good expectation from us to our leaders. Chairman Nigeria Labour Congress Yusuf Inuwa said they had met with the governor and enumerated some areas that need intervention in order to cushion the hardship of workers in the state. This, the NLC said, led to the procurement of the buses that are currently rendering services to the people. The buses started working across the city of Maiduguri, but up till now, still coming with another measures to ease the hardship. But all we know is that our government doing his best. On his part, General Manager Borno Express Company, Grema Zanna Kyari, said Borno Express Transport Company was established in 1973, but the administration of Governor Zulum rebranded its present standard and procured vehicles to boost their operations. In the early morning, from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., our buses start their working. We urge the people to understand our aims and provide us first-hand information to achieve our success. The General Manager Borno Express assured that he will not disappoint civil servants in conveying them to places of work and their respective communities, adding that his doors remain open for suggestions toward effective service delivery. From Maiduguri, Adamu Gulde, Trust TV News.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will on Sunday depart Abuja for New York to attend the 2023 United Nations General Assembly. Ahead of the trip, the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Ajuri Nglani, outlined the engagements queued up for the Nigerian leader on the sidelines of the summit. The various sides' activities, he said, would advance President Tinubu's economic development and diplomatic drive to aggressively attract foreign direct investment to the country. Kende Amodu reports.
After a successful trip to New Delhi, India for the G20, Nigeria's new leader has been able to attract a staggering amount of investment to the country. Spurred on by the success, Tinubu is going to the UN not only to participate at the General Assembly, but to engage in a series of side activities that could have wide-ranging ramifications on the Nigerian economy. The activities are divided into three types: bilateral meetings with presidents of the United States, Comoros, South Africa, European Union Commission, and the Prime Minister of Netherlands. He will also meet with the King of Jordan, the Algerian President, and the Brazilian President, including the Spanish Prime Minister.
The President, again, focusing in on his economic development diplomacy, will be having investment at the front and center of his conversations with his counterparts around the world. And these engagements include bilateral meetings on the sidelines.
The Nigerian leader will also meet with major chief executives and leaders of multinational firms cutting across multiple sectors of the economy. These include President of Microsoft Company Worldwide, President of Global Affairs for Meta Technologies, the Global CEO of General Electric, and the Global CEO of ExxonMobil Oil and Gas Company.
The President will be speaking at the UN high-level reform of the global financial architecture. This is a sequel to the engagement Mr. President had in Paris. It will essentially allow our President to lay out his vision for a fairer international financial system that does not any longer leave out developing countries from the decision-making table.
On the third level, the president will take part in several roundtable discussions, such as the Africa Global Business Initiative, the Nigeria Small and Medium Scale Business Summit, while he will speak at the UN High-Level Reform of the Global Financial Architecture, which is a sequel to the engagement he had in Paris. President Tinubu has made it clear that his trip to New York will focus on attracting foreign direct investment, jobs, and new tax revenues to the country. He's also focused on making sure that homegrown Nigerian companies have fair and equal access to foreign and international markets. From State House, Abuja, Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
From the international scene, Burkina Faso's foreign ministry has notified France of the expulsion of the embassy's military attaché for subversive activities in an official letter seen by AFP on Friday. The ministry said attaché Emmanuel Pesquier and his team had 2 weeks to leave the country, which underwent 2 military coups last year. The letter added that the French military mission in Ouagadougou would be closed. France, which withdrew troops from its former colony in the face of mounting hostility after Captain Ibrahim Traoré seized power in September 2023, rejected the accusation. The accusation of subversive activities is obviously fanciful, a foreign ministry spokesperson told AFP in Paris. In the meantime, President Emmanuel Macron has said that France's envoy to Niger is living like a hostage in the French embassy and accused military rulers of blocking food deliveries to the mission. The ambassador is living off military rations, Macron told reporters on Friday. And finally, in sports, the African Cup of Nations, the AFCON Under-17 champions Senegal will play Argentina. Poland and Japan in Group D of the 2023 FIFA Cadet World Cup slated for Indonesia from November to December this year. The draw was conducted on Friday in Zurich, Switzerland. The host nation, Indonesia, were drawn in Group A alongside Morocco, Panama and Ecuador. Mali, flying the Africans' flag in Group B, were drawn to clash with Spain, Canada and Uzbekistan. Burkina Faso were drawn in Group E alongside France, USA and Korea Republic. Nigeria's Golden Eaglet, who are record 5-time champions, did not qualify for the tournament. And with that, we wrap up news updates on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms, and you can join our YouTube Live for more news programs and documentaries. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thanks for watching.